Hello and welcome back, Magical Souls. For those who are new here, my name is Lydia and I am the Witch of Multi-Realms. As a witch, a spiritual practitioner, and a quantum magician, I know that meditation definitely forms a very integral part of my daily life. So today, I am going to talk about why I meditate, the benefits, and how you can get started in your own meditation practice. I meditate because, first, plain and simple, it helps to clear my mind. And most importantly, or more accurately, it helps to clear my heart. So I'm speaking from the perspective of the everyday life, everyday person. You don't have to be a spiritual practitioner to even know that this exists on a daily aspect for you. When we wake up, from the time we wake up, most people will have to have a responsibility in their life, be it study or work. And if you're retired, maybe there's some other things in your agenda, I'm not sure. The people with the least amount of agenda would be a toddler, a really young child that's below the age of 4 perhaps, okay? But the moment you wake up, there is that responsibility. So you have to get dressed, get changed. Anything can happen during that period, whether you're rushing or something happened that can, disturb your day. And then you go about with your day. And during that period, you might interact with any number of people, and that can also, in its own way, create a variety of emotions in you, depending on how your day goes, whether something good, something bad happened. Emotions can run high. You can get riled up over something. Things can not go your way. You might have a bout of anger, a bout of sadness, even surprise or shock. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is, by the end of the day, your heart and your mind is full of I wouldn't call it junk. I don't want to call it junk. But truth is, besides the things that you really want to keep, there are definitely a lot of things that you don't want to keep. Am I right to say that? I just quote a very easy example. You could be on your way to work, and then suddenly it decides to rain. And your most beautiful pair of work shoes steps into a muddy puddle. Your own fault, but it's a carelessness of some sort, maybe you didn't see it, but it's ruined. So you have the why me, kind of anger. And then you go to work, already feeling half wretched, and then something does not go your way, perhaps. You submitted a proposal, it did not get approved. What your boss said to you was a constructive criticism, perhaps. But you take it badly, and then your inner anger, although you can't say it, perhaps you have to keep it, suppress it, but your inner anger is there. No, this is unfair. And you come home and you thought you have leftover in the fridge for dinner, but turns out that is bad and you can't eat it and you're hungry, you're hangry. Okay, so anyways, typical horrible day for anyone. But honestly, do you want to take all of that and go to sleep? Not really. You want to clean it out of your system. Just like it's not good to eat junk food. Some of us sometimes indulge whatever you eat and we then have to detox. And detox is a thing that maybe we don't do often enough for our body. But most importantly, think of your heart and your mind like a computer. And I think this is not a new term. I hope people mostly understand what I'm trying to say here. Just like any kind of computer system, once you upload random files enough and delete random files enough, upload apps, delete apps, and things like that, eventually you're gonna have to do a defrag maybe once a month. I know some people never defrags their computer, and then the computer gives them the blue screen of death eventually. But what I'm trying to say is defragging is good. Defragmentizing. So cleaning, you can call it anything. Cleaning, cleanse, detox, defragmentize. That's what meditation does. And if you do it every day, it is a way for you to come into a zone, especially if you do it at the end of the day, before you sleep, evening time. I do that. Come into a zone, allow yourself to process, not suppress, not push it out. Allow yourself to see the images of what took place throughout the day, all the good, all the bad, all the emotions that comes with these images and events. Let it come in and accept it, understand it, perceive it. Even perceive yourself from a third person perspective, if that helps. And see how, almost like you're seeing yourself through a television, and see how that thing occurred. And then if the emotion was rough, understand why you had that emotion. You do not have to have the answer right away, but it's okay. Let it come and then let it go. It is a form of self-care to defragmentize, to detox this way. Because, once again, we do not want to take such heavy energies, such chaotic, unperceived energies into sleep. And there is a lot of magic science. There's a lot of science behind it, actually. Some might call it magic. But you bring it to your dreams. And the dream world, the dream space, which is a huge subject that I would love to talk about one day. The dream space is a place where you experience more insight and knowledge about yourself. But you do not want to constantly be thrown into a random dream space, because when you have unprocessed emotions, you go into randomness when you dream. Okay, so I will one day have a much more detailed video talking about that part, that aspect of dreaming. But I just want to say that at the end of the day, it is a healthy habit to process all this in a form of cleansing, detoxing meditation at the end of the day, which I do for myself. Now, the other thing I do when I meditate, the purpose is for communication. So in my line of work as a spiritual practitioner, I often communicate. Often is, let me explain often. For me, it's a few times a day. And for some people, they do it once a day. For me, I am chatty, very chatty with my spirit guides. In one day, I could be talking to way more spirits than humans. And often, yeah. Anyways, so for me, it's a communication. I simply go into meditation to receive and to hear what they want to tell me. Because if I'm talking, they can't talk. If my mind is talking, they can't talk. So I meditate in order to be quiet, be focused, and I will also talk about what focus means here, but let me just finish this sentence. To be quiet, to be focused, to be undisturbed, to be not active, to be not intentionally active in my own way, so that they can come in and talk to me. And when they talk to me, it's not like I'm just hearing all voices, because this pertains to the different kind of clair abilities that one has. For me, I am not. My clairaudience is a come and go thing. I'm more clairvoyance. I am more claircognizance. And so basically that's how I communicate. I get messages, downloads. I see visions. And for me, the visualization aspect even requires me to go into a much deeper part of my meditation practice, which brings me to the next point. if I want to receive more visions and I want something that can bring me entirely into a different space, because that's also part of the work that I do, sometimes I astral project, sometimes I channel, sometimes I will need different kind of visions to enable myself to perceive the quantum shift and movement that I'm trying to do. So that is a much deeper kind of meditation that I get into. And again, I understand for most of you who are watching, and if you're not in a very deep spiritual practice, you simply want to meditate so that you can improve your daily health and mental health, this might not be something that you're interested in, because very, very deep meditation means that first, it definitely takes practice, it takes discipline, and it also has to be something that you allow and flow into. It can come across as quite scary for a lot of people. We're talking about, imagine if this is, on this side is the three-dimensional reality, the world that we live in, the world where your body is, and then there is a door here. And then on this side is the spiritual world and all the other levels of astral realms that you can access, and different spiritual entities that you might meet. Okay, if you're not attuned or primed for this kind of activity, I of course would not think that you are interested in doing this. But meditation there is a form of meditation where you go in so deep, you cross this door, your spirit crosses this door into the spiritual realm, and your three-dimensional body is forgotten, or rather your soul disconnects from your body. Okay, this is for people who astral project when they sleep. That's also a form of disconnect from their three-dimensional body, the vessel. I call this a vessel. So there's a form of meditation that I would do, the real deep one, that can take hours, where I disconnect from my body and then go into a spiritual world. This is great for visualizing, for entering other realms, basically deeper spell work, spiritual work, things like that. Now, finally, one other thing, for energy management. So again, in my work, I use energy heavily. And in order to ensure that I am grounded and I'm pulling energy from the correct sources, or sometimes even energy that is more connected to a certain element, I will then also meditate, sometimes with the physical aspect of the element, such as water or fire or a certain crystal, in order to work the energy into my system. Sometimes energy from within my system to go into a certain object instead. I do that as well. So energy moving, energy management is another way and reason to why I meditate. Again, this might not be very useful for people who are not like a spiritual practitioner, but it can be useful if, let's say, same thing in your daily life, you are feeling exhausted. Maybe you feel really tapped out after a day of spending so much time fussing over somebody else's problems. Sometimes we are near people whom we consider energy vampires. Maybe not that we do not like these people, but maybe the way they speak, the way they behave, tend to take energy away from us. If you're an empath, if you're a very sensitive person, you might understand what I'm talking about. Sometimes you can feel like just spending a little time with somebody, a particular somebody that you know in your life, can take that energy away from you. So in order to bring the energy back to yourself, in order to regain your battery and your energy, meditation actually is one of the ways to recuperate, because energy is all around us and we are made of energy. However, there is such thing as depleting your own energy in order, and it's like osmosis, it's like your own energy is depleted because it's flowing outwards. Thus the terminology energy vampire, if you know now what I'm trying to say. Some people really suck the life out of you. Okay, so, or it doesn't have to be a person, it can be an activity. It can be an activity that you do not like to do. It's a real drag to get through it. Okay, and if you have to, by, I don't know what situation you'll be in, you have to do it, fine. And then you feel so drained by the end of the day. So meditation can help you recharge yourself and bring the energy back. Grounding. And again, this can apply to different aspects of your character and different aspects of your astrological placements. Some people get more revitalized when they are under the sun. So meditation under the sun can help some people. So, and some people, they meditate better if they are soaking in seawater. I know I'm for one, I get very charged up when I am in seawater. And for some people, just sitting out there on the ground when they meditate, but in a very, like, they can feel the wind blowing through them, all that stuff also can charge them up. So for different people, different aspect. Now that I have explained why I meditate and the benefits of it, I think now you can see more clearly how this all can apply to you. Whether you are having an actual spiritual practice that you're more active in, or you simply just want to live a healthier life, meditation can help you in different ways. I'm not going to go into huge details today on how to meditate. I will one day do a video where I demonstrate the various ways of how you can meditate, but I'm just going to verbally do a little explanation here. I understand for a lot of people, the idea of meditation can be daunting because I usually hear what people telling me is, oh, I have ADHD. Not that they are diagnosed, they self-diagnose, they have ADHD because they know that they're hyperactive and they cannot focus, or the unwillingness to focus, perhaps. Some people would say that, I cannot sit cross-legged, it hurts, I'm not flexible, I go numb, anything along those lines, and I get it. So meditation, in the beginning, if you're just starting, you can sit down on a chair. What really matters is that you get into a position where you are relaxed and you do not have to fidget. You also should maintain a fairly straight spine because there's a lot of reasons why you do it, okay? When you have a straight spine, you maintain your posture to be more grounded. Almost, we're talking about grounding your base to the ground and your crown to the sky. It allows a better flow of energy. Also, if you slouch, it's not good for your body, it's not good for your posture. And more often than not, if you're slouching in a chair, or a chair allows you to slouch like a sofa or couch, you might fall asleep. And that totally defeats the purpose. So yes, sit on a chair, like a typical chair where your feet can touch the ground. You can sit while still leaning back on, like there's a back of the chair. So not a stool, okay, there should be a back to the chair, but at least you can lean in a fairly straight way. So this is a very fair way to sit for meditation if you don't want to be cross-legged on the floor. And allow yourself to calm down, not fidget anymore, and then to just slowly breathe. Now, breathing, there are a few techniques to how to breathe to get into the zone for meditation. I like to first start with 3 deep breaths. And I find that breathing deep and taking in more oxygen is able to help me circulate better and also prime my body and my essence to receive the energies better. That's my method. So I always start with 3 slow, deep breaths and allow yourself to feel the sensation of whatever you feel in your body. And then sink into it, sit into it. And then gradually allow your breath to just be as normal, unintentional as possible. So from intentional breathing to unintentional breathing. Like you don't remember you're breathing. Like now I'm talking, I'm not going to remember that I have to take a breath or not take a breath. Like breathing is as normal as it gets, right? So yes, that's what unintentional breathing is. You should get into it. And once you get into it, then bring the focus to your heartbeat. Some people might want to bring focus to their breathing, but for me, I find that bringing the focus to my breathing actually makes me concentrate too hard. I'd rather bring the focus to my heartbeat because the way I feel my heartbeat also helps me understand that my source of energy comes from my heart and my core. Again, this is very subjective for different people who meditate. Some people draw energy from the base because they ground. For me, I find that my energy source is my heart and my core around this zone. So I like to feel my heartbeat and then gradually feel the burst of energy as I meditate. You might want to try the focus breath, but it's entirely up to you. That's why I say understand the kind of feelings that you have when you take the first 3 deep breaths. Usually it's at that point you start to understand which part of your body is the energy source or the seed of energy. I usually, that's how I say it. And then from there, just take it easy. Your mind can have anything come in and go out. So the other thing that people might misunderstand is that they think that they should push every thought out. It's not true. The whole idea of meditation is to have some level of introspection and insights. Introspection and insights that we probably can't get if we are talking, if we are behaving, if we are working and doing something. If your body is active, your inner self is not. So when you quiet your body down, like the way I say, sit down, focus on your breath and heartbeat, then that's when you start to allow your inner self to speak to you, your higher self. And that's why thoughts can come in. It's perfectly normal. But you want to flow and surrender to it. You want to let it come, let it go. Let it come, let it go. It's perfectly okay. I'm teaching you the basic level of meditation as of now. So if you're wondering, truly, if you are the type that has a chatty mind, and this letting thoughts coming in and going off might seem really confusing for you, don't worry. Once you try and slowly let this happen, you might understand what I'm trying to say. What might be chatty mind in the beginning might gradually become selective pieces of information coming in, only selective pieces of information coming through. And as long as you flow, flowing is more important. Resisting is the part that ruins a meditation. Okay, now the next thing is, if you start to flow, feel that you are flowing in a more effortless fashion, that's when you can start to understand what you might be hearing or seeing or thinking, then you might start to be able to register specific things that are more important. If you give yourself this practice for approximately 10 minutes, let's say, when you come out of your 10 minutes meditation, in order to help you practice better, you might want to journal what you thought of, what you might have seen or heard in your meditation, and gradually you realize that there are some messages coming through to you that make sense. And this could very well be your higher self talking to you, or anyone from your spiritual team. Whatever it is, this is the beginning of an effective meditation and spiritual communication. So there, I have just explained how you can effortlessly, as a beginner, get into meditation whereby you allow your higher self and your spiritual team to communicate with you. This all takes discipline and practice, and most importantly, intention. If you intend for yourself to have a much deeper relationship with your spiritual guides, if you intend to improve your life so that you have more introspection, more guidance for your spiritual journey, you want to basically improve yourself and improve your life and the relationship you have with the loved ones around you, go ahead and try. It does not have to start with every day now. It can be every alternate day. You can start from something as easy as sitting on the chair if you don't want to do cross-legged on the floor. It can be something as accessible and easy as just 5 or 10 minutes. But intention is so important. You must have the real intention of wanting to bring yourself to some level of attunement in meditation to want to meditate. If you understand what I'm trying to explain here. I mean, for those who immediately felt, oh, I can't meditate, it is in itself a form of manifestation. You have manifested to yourself that you cannot meditate. You have no intention to meditate. And meditation is not going to be the way you are going to improve your life. And therefore, you cannot see yourself putting through the act of it or going through with the act of it. And that is the war is half lost, more than half lost if you come in with that intention. However, if you never done it, you don't know if you do it right, but your intention is, I want to do it. I want to learn. I want to see if I can get there. I want to see if meditation can help improve my life. Okay, if you have that intention and you come in, this is how you can get started. So again, I won't talk into details too much. It can be really long. This whole get into the meditation thing. Okay, but you have heard me. I've talked about how it can improve your daily life, especially when it comes to the detox part, which applies for everyone. I hope it has helped you in some way to encourage you to start meditation in one way or another. Oh, before I forget. Yes, before I forget. I know that it even helps some people because, in Singapore where spaces are so tight and we hardly get enough room to ourselves. Walls are thin, you can hear your neighbors. If you might have just caught the background sound of drilling because that's my neighbor having a renovation. If I'm not able to take this out of the audio, you will be able to hear the drilling. So what I'm trying to say is I get it. There's a lot of distractions. People seldom get the chance to be in a fully quiet space, especially for beginners to want to get into meditation is even harder, right? Because you have not even yet learned how to ignore the noise. I get it. So perhaps having your earphones or AirPods on with music might really help. And when I talk about music, it should be something very soothing. There's lots of choices in YouTube. You can always type meditation music and you'll be given a whole world full of that. So choose something that is soothing, something that is able to fade into the background so it does not become the main thing that you tune into when you meditate. And yes, have the music instead of whatever else that's happening around you. So music plays a big part for beginners especially. I, for one, did start with music for about at least the first 1.5 years of my meditation practice. I had music, but I gradually moved into a space where now music is distracting for me. I much rather hear, I don't know, as long as I'm in a room, even if there's sounds out there, it does not bother me. But if I have music on in my ears right now, the actual music might distract me. So I got into that place now where I don't use music, I just sit there. So, but for starters, music might help, so yes. All right, so I hope what I've explained today is helpful for you to get started on your meditation practice. Again, I would like to send this word of encouragement. If you want to get started, believe in yourself, believe you can get started. Believe that you can meditate and get there someday. You don't have to put a time to it, you don't have to put a big goal, you don't have to come in like a pro from the first day, no. Just intend to start meditation, just intend to, and let yourself know that once you ease yourself into it and practice with discipline and focus, you can use meditation as a way to improve your life, improve your emotions, your state of mental health. And this in itself will give you will see the rewards in your life gradually. Okay? So this is all I have for you today. Once again, thank you for your time. Until the next video, take care and goodbye.